Welcome to Dark Hours FM. If you'd like to help keep these stories alive and feeling generous, you can give a tip at Buy Me a Coffee or unlock more haunting at Patreon. All the links in the bio. Tonight's story, Season 2, Episode 1, The Hinterkaifeck Murders. Let's begin. It is one of the oldest unsolved murder cases in Germany. A century later, the name still carries a chill. Hinterkaifeck. The year was 1922. The place, a remote Bavarian farmstead about 40 miles north of Munich. The family living there, Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and Victoria's 2 young children, lived in near isolation. The Grubers were known as harsh and unfriendly people, especially Andreas, who was rumored to be violent and cruel. But whatever darkness haunted that household, something worse was already watching. Days before the murders, strange events began to unfold. Andreas told neighbors he had discovered footprints in the snow leading from the forest directly to the farmhouse. The tracks stopped at the door, but none led away. At night, the family reported hearing footsteps in the attic. No one could find the source. Andreas searched the farm, but found no intruder. Their maid, unnerved by the sounds and the atmosphere of the house, abruptly quit her position. She left claiming the farm was cursed. On March 31st, 1922, a new maid, Maria Baumgartner, arrived at Hinterkaifeck. It was her first day. That night, all 6 people on the farm would be brutally murdered. Investigators pieced together a chilling sequence. It appeared the killer, or killers, had lured the family one by one into the barn. Andreas, his wife Cecilia, Victoria, and young Cecilia, the 7-year-old daughter, were all slaughtered with a mattock, a sharpened farming tool. Their bodies were stacked, half covered in hay. Inside the farmhouse, little 2-year-old Joseph was killed in his crib. Maria, the new maid, was murdered in her room. 6 lives ended in one night. But the horror does not stop there. When neighbors noticed the family had not been seen in days, they assumed the Grubers were sick. But smoke rose from the chimney. Food was prepared. The cattle were fed. It wasn't until 4 days later that someone finally entered the farm and discovered the bodies. That means whoever committed the murders lived in the house for days afterward, slept under the same roof, ate at the same table, fed the animals, while the corpses of the family lay only a few feet away. The investigation revealed bizarre details. The murder weapon, the mattock, was found hidden in the attic months later. The same attic where the footsteps had been heard. Neighbors swore the Grubers had complained of strange noises long before the killings. Was the killer already living inside the house? The suspects' list grew long. Some believed Victoria's estranged lover committed the crime. Others suspected local drifters. But there were darker rumors. Victoria had been trapped in an abusive relationship with her own father, Andreas. Their incestuous scandal was known to police, and Victoria's 2-year-old son, Joseph, may have been Andreas's child. Some theorized the murders were the result of family conflict, spiraling into bloodshed. But this could not explain the eerie precision. Luring each victim one by one, stacking the bodies, staying on the farm afterward as if to erase all traces of the crime. Even the behavior of the family's animals added to the unease. Witnesses described the farm dog chained in the barn, barking frantically for days until someone finally came to check. The family's horse had been disturbed, kicking at its stall. The animals seemed to know something had invaded the house, something wrong and unnatural. No one was ever arrested. The case file is thick with false leads, dead ends, and accusations that went nowhere. At one point, over 100 suspects were questioned. but the truth was never found. The murders remain unsolved, one of Germany's greatest mysteries. Hinterkaifeck was demolished the following year. Today, only a memorial cross marks the spot where the farmhouse once stood. Visitors say the area is quiet, but heavy, as if the land itself remembers what happened there. Locals avoid the site after dark. The legacy of Hinterkaifeck lingers because it blends the savagery of true crime with the terror of the unknown. Who was the killer? Why stay in the house for days? And what about the footprints in the snow, the attic noises, the maid's final words that the house was cursed? It is one thing to be murdered. It is another to be hunted in your own home by someone who may have been watching from the shadows for weeks. The story of Hinterkaifeck is a reminder that sometimes the walls around us do not protect us. Sometimes they keep us inside with what is already there. 6 people were murdered on a lonely farm in 1922, and the killer, whoever or whatever they were, was never found. Thanks for joining us in the dark. Some stories fade with the light. Others stay with you. We'll see you next time, if you make it.